That is a bit of a mess. Hello, welcome back to 3 Delirium. Once again, my name is AJ, and we have our Prusa Mini received and assembled. I think it's time to turn it on, calibrate, and have our first print. Let's see what it says. Fan works. I would like it in English, yes. The printer's own software provided step-by-step instructions, allowing me to proceed or correct any task that might be going wrong. Filament sensor cable stretches the whole way down onto the bed. That can't be good. I did cheat a little and watch the video already from Joseph Prusa, and he suggested that this time while I was doing all this, it's a great opportunity to clean the heat bed with the included isopropyl alcohol. I haven't used these because I have a different alternative purpose for them. Can't lose our filament. It's super important. Growing up in the US, we had isopropyl alcohol in the house at all times. It's a great cleaning tool and used also as well when in first aid. But in Ireland, I can't seem to find it anywhere, so I definitely will be keeping an extra sharp lookout for isopropyl alcohol in Ireland. All of the YouTubers that I watched in preparation for getting my 3D printer spoke of the horrors of tangled filament. So when I got these rolls of filament out that didn't have their own spools, since they came with the machine as samples, they made me so paranoid that something bad might happen, which is why I thought I needed to use the weight of my spray paint can there to keep them from tangling, but it really caused some problems and I ended up just taking it off anyway. In the next step, use the knob to adjust the nozzle height. Check the pictures in the handbook for reference. Okay. Next. And this is where the problems began. So the printer will be probing the bed to make sure that it is level enough, and then it'll start printing a small bead of filament that goes zigzagging back and forth across the entire plate. That gives the user the opportunity to adjust how high the nozzle is in relation to the print bed. Now, I didn't know necessarily what I needed to do to make the line of filament coming out match the images in the book. So, here we go. So I want to repeat the last step and readjust the distance between the nozzle and heat bed. That's fine. Calibration successful. Happy printing. So far so good. I think it's accurate and done. I guess we'll have to try the first print and really find out. A combination of the size of the filament being printed and the poor lighting in my studio meant that I had no idea if the filament being printed was too thick or too thin. So this is kind of leading to the big problem. I inserted the flash drive and it is prompting me to print the first item, which the video also did say would be the nut that is included on it. But I am going to go look for something to clean the bed with. I'll be right back. Perfect. Bed is cleaned off and it looks like it's ready to print. So here we go. It says it'll take an hour and a half. I don't think this video will last that long. Well, my first test didn't turn out very well. That is a bit of a mess. So I'm running the wizard again, and we'll try later. First layer calibration. I do have filament. It is loaded. That one turned out a lot better than the first. But just to be sure, I might get rid of this test and run the same exact test again, just to be extra sure. At the very end of this test print, the Mini makes a tiny little rectangle in the very corner. In the first test I did, it was very sparse and there were holes in that rectangle and it was clearly going to fail. But I let it go anyway, and there's what it led to. The second time, that rectangle was crisp and solid, so I think that is a good sign for things to come. It's looking good, but when I take a peek in the manual, it shows the section of the different heights of squish for the bottom. Now, the extrusion on the plate in the back looks great, but this little preliminary line at the very front, the second half of that line looks very flat. I'm gonna let it go and see how it turns out. That is very crisp. It looks great. I will try the nut print again, and hopefully it'll turn out better this time. Well, it looks like the first print is finally done. The nut from the flash drive that was included with the machine. So if I understand correctly, I can pull this off, magnetic, flex it, and it should come right up. Wow. There's a little bit of incorrect extrusion, is that what you'd call it? Right on the bottom, but the rest of it, pretty good. I am touching the top of the sheet, so I will make sure that I clean it off before I print anything else. But this nut turned out pretty well. Excellent. First print done, machines calibrated. Looks like we're good to go. Make sure to join us next time on 3 Delirium, where we are all trying to hallucinate about the possibilities of 3D printing. My name's AJ, and I'll see you later.